Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome back to Celeb Buffy. Being a member of the royal family comes with having to uphold many rules and standards, which they have to keep up with both in public and behind closed doors, even down to curtsying in front of senior royal family members such as the king. They still have to do this in both formal and informal settings, whether the public eye's on them or not. However, what many people might not realize is that these rules go right down to which foods they are and aren't allowed to eat. While most people might be able to sit down and enjoy a good meal with these foods, the royal family has to make sure to avoid them at all costs. What rules do the royal family have to follow? Many families might have rules such as eating all their vegetables or helping to do the washing up, but the royal rules are a lot more strict, and many of them have been around for centuries. While some might seem to make perfect sense, others are a bit more out of the ordinary. One is that the royals are not allowed to travel together in fear that something might happen to them. For example, if King Charles and Prince William were heading to the same destination, they would have to travel separately in case something happened to one of their planes they were in. Another example is that the royals aren't allowed to sign autographs. If some people happen to meet their favorite celebrity, they might ask them to sign something. People aren't allowed to do this with the royals. If they do, their request will be refused due to the worry that some might use their signature for something they shouldn't. While these might seem like reasonable rules to have, there are some other rules that the royal family must follow that are a little strange. For some, when hosting a royal dinner, the monarch must start by talking to the person to their right first. The guest of honor at these events is always put on the monarch's right side, and they will talk to them first. Once the first course is done, they will then turn to talk to other people. For example, Lewis Hamilton was once set to the left side of the Queen and tried to engage in conversation with her, but as she was yet to speak to the person to her right, she politely told him to stop and said that she would speak to him once she was done speaking to the person to her right. The royal family aren't allowed to eat shellfish. One food item that might surprise people that the royal family isn't allowed to eat is shellfish. The actual reason behind the banning of them being able to eat shellfish is actually quite reasonable. The reason is that shellfish carries a risk of causing someone who eats it to get food poisoning and become very ill from it. Members of the royal family often have a very busy schedule, having to visit many different places and people all over the world and leaving very little room to rest. Because of this, it's not really ideal to get ill, especially if it's over a few days or even weeks. If they do get ill, then this inevitably will have to lead to the cancellation of some of these engagements. While in many cases this is unavoidable, there are some cases where it can't be avoided, which is by not eating foods that carry the risk of giving them food poisoning. What foods are royals not allowed to eat? Aside from shellfish, there are a few other foods which royals are forbidden to eat. If shellfish was thought of as a strange food to be banned from eating, then the other foods they aren't allowed to eat, while they have logical reasons behind them, seem to appear in most dishes, so it might feel a bit odd to some people to not be allowed to eat. For example, a couple of food items that are banned from the royal household are onions and garlic. While shellfish is banned due to food poisoning, onions and garlic are banned for the simple reason that the late queen didn't like them, a fact confirmed by Queen Consort Camilla when she appeared on MasterChef Australia. However, as the queen passed away in September 2022 and King Charles is now on the throne, it's currently not known whether onions and garlic are allowed back on the menu or if the royals continue to not eat it purely in memory of her. So guys, this was all about today's video. Share as much as you can, that really motivates us to create more content for you guys. With this, we end our video. Hope you liked the video.